Dear students, as discussed in the previous class, subspace is nothing but a non-empty subset W of V is a subspace of V if W itself is a vector space under the operations induced from V. So showing this part is easy, but what about this part over here? So what exactly it means? So in order to understand this, let us recall the definition of vector space. So a non-empty set V is said to be a vector space over R if there exist functions addition from V cross V to V and scalar multiplication from R cross V to V with respect to which following 8 properties are satisfied. Here I will say P1 up to P8 are satisfied. Now try to understand that what do you mean by there exist functions. So the meaning is there should exist means we have to find addition and scalar multiplication with respect to which this set V should be closed. That is the first requirement. That is, V should be non-empty. We should be able to find addition and scalar multiplication with respect to which V should be closed, and in addition to that P1 to P8 properties should be satisfied. So in order to show W itself is a vector space, we need to do all these things but for the set W. So it means we need to show W is non-empty, then we need to find addition and scalar multiplication, but there is no any issues of that, because it is already said here that we have to show W is a vector space under the operations induced from V, means under the operations as in V. So just whatever the operation in V is there, with respect to that addition and scalar multiplication we need to show W is closed, and after showing this we have to prove this 8 properties. So this is how we can show W is a subspace, but this is very lengthy job, right? So in order to come out of this, we are having a criteria that we are going to see today. But before that, let us discuss this one note. So what is this note saying here? Whenever you are having certain vector space, you always have few subspaces of it, and they are called as trivial subspaces. I mean, whatever the subspace, whatever the vector space you have, that vector space is going to have these subspaces. That is going to be true always. Okay. So this singleton 0 and V itself, because according to the definition of subspace, first of all we are interested in finding what? Subsets of vector spaces which itself are vector spaces. So our natural choice is what? We know that any subset, any set is a subset of itself. So since we are having certain vector space V, let us say, and V is a subset of V, right? That is always true. So thus this V is always going to be a subspace of V. That is always going to be true. And the second important thing is the singleton 0. That is always going to be a subspace of V. So given any vector space, for example V is equal to R2, so these two are going to be subspaces of V, that we already know. Then other than this two subspaces, there may be other subspaces as well, but we are sure that these two subspaces will always be there, and thus they are called as trivial subspaces. Now let us move towards the main theorem that we are going to discuss today. It is called as subspace criteria, or it is also called as necessary and sufficient condition for a non-empty subset to be a subspace. So let us see what the statement is. A non-empty subset W of V. So suppose you are having certain vector space. So a non-empty subset of that vector space will be a subspace of V if and only if it is closed under addition and scalar multiplication. Now what do you mean by closed under addition and scalar multiplication? This part we have already discussed before, but still in order to make it clear, I have explained it over here by representing it in terms of mathematical language. So this same statement can be written in this form here. That is why I have said that is here. So a non-empty subset W of V, same thing, is said to be a subspace of V if and only if, now this is equivalent to this, okay, if and only if what, it is closed means what, W is closed under addition and scalar multiplication on V. So the meaning is whatever addition and scalar multiplication in V is there, with respect to that this W should be closed, and that I have represented in terms of mathematical expressions here. So it means that take any two elements from W, the sum should lie in W. This is called as property of closed with respect to addition, and take any real number alpha in general, arbitrary one, and take any element of W, then this alpha W should also lie in W. Now take a note that it is very important that whatever elements we are taking, that two elements we are taking from W, and we are showing that the sum again lies in W. And if you remember, this is exactly the definition of set closed under addition, right? So over here we are showing that W is closed under addition, and in the next property we are taking alpha from R and we are taking W from W, and we are showing that this alpha W belongs to W. So this resembles to the definition of set closed under scalar multiplication. So over here we are showing that W is closed under scalar multiplication, but whatever the addition and scalar multiplication is there, that is from V only. Now let us begin to prove this theorem. So let us try to understand what exactly we have to prove first of all. So initially we have to assume that, see what is said here, a non-empty subset W of V is said to be a subspace of V if and only if this is happening. Let me use some another color. Yeah. So a non-empty subset W of V is said to be a subspace of V if and only if this is happening. So this thing is given to us. So first of all we will write down the given things. That is nothing but what? I will say let W be non-empty, and another thing that is given to us is W is subset of V. Now let me write these two statements, this one and this one. So what is our first statement? Our first statement is W is a subspace of V, and our second statement is W is closed under addition and scalar multiplication. That is nothing but take arbitrary elements of W and show that W1 plus W2 lies in W, and second one is take alpha from R, W from W, and show that this alpha W belongs to W. Now we have to show that these two statements 1 and 2 are equivalent. It means the both statements are same, because in the theorem it is said if and only if. What do you mean by if and only if? Suppose we are having two statements. So one if and only if, 2 means what? So in order to prove it, we have to prove 1 implies 2 and 2 implies 1, right? So the same process we are going to follow here. So first of all I will assume that W is a subspace of V. So what we have to prove? 1 implies 2 first of all. So I will say suppose W is a subspace of V. Now what is the meaning of this? So W is a subspace of V means, so according to the definition of subspace, a non-empty subset W of V, so that we already have, so I will not write it again, is said to be a subspace of V if it itself is a vector space under the operations induced from V. So what is the meaning of this? So meaning of this is there will exist addition and scalar multiplication, but how? Let us try to understand. Now whenever we say V is a vector space, what is happening? There exist functions from addition and scalar multiplication, addition from V cross V to V and scalar multiplication from R cross V to V. But over here we are saying that W is a vector space. So this will slightly change, right? So this will imply that there should exist functions addition, but now from W cross W to W and scalar multiplication from R cross W to W, right? So in other words, it means that this W is closed with respect to addition and scalar multiplication, and that is exactly we have to prove, right? Do you see this second one? That is exactly we have to prove. So actually 1 implies 2 is very straightforward and clear. It directly comes from the definition of vector space itself. So this implies, I will say here, W is closed under addition and scalar multiplication. Now we will move towards proving 2 implies 1. So in 2 implies 1, we are going to assume that these two condition holds. I mean W is closed under addition and W is closed under scalar multiplication, and we will prove that W is a subspace of V. So chalo, let us begin. Now we have assumed that W is closed under addition and scalar multiplication, and we have to prove that W is a subspace of V. But what exactly does it mean? So according to our definition of subspace, a non-empty subset W of V. So first of all we have to show W is a non-empty subset of V, but just wait a minute, it is already given to us. Okay, so this is already given that W is a non-empty subset of V. So I will write it here, which is given. So now it remains to show that W itself is a vector space under operations induced from V. It means we have to show that first of all W is closed under addition and scalar multiplication, and all that 8 properties are satisfied. But just wait a minute, it is already given to us that W is closed under addition and scalar multiplication, because that is nothing but our assumption. So it remains to prove that 8 properties. So I will write here, we also have W is closed under addition and scalar multiplication. So it remains to show that 8 properties are satisfied. So now it remains to show that, but note that these 8 properties should be satisfied for elements of W, because we have to show W is a vector space, right? So according to the definition of vector space, whatever that 8 properties are there, that we prove for elements of V, because there V is a vector space, but over here we have to show W is a vector space. Thus all that properties should be satisfied by elements of W. But just simply remember that actually W is a subset of V, so elements of W are nothing but elements of V only. So the properties, the commutative property, the associative property, the fifth one, that is alpha multiplied by U plus V, and the rest one P6, P7 and P8, all will automatically be satisfied. So there is no need of worrying about that. So only the important properties that are left is P3 and P4, that we will prove right now. So just let me write here, but so now we will show existence of identity property. So we have to show that the 0 element is present in W. So how to show it? So just I will write the heading here. Now in order to prove this, we have the fact that W is closed under addition and scalar multiplication. So let us try to understand what is the meaning of W is closed under scalar multiplication. So the meaning is, for any element of R and for any element of W, the multiplication, the scalar multiplication alpha multiplied by w lies in w. So, for which value of alpha the multiplication will be 0? Can you guess? And yes, you are right, because if we choose alpha is equal to 0, then this 0 multiplied by w is going to be 0, and thus 0 will belong to w, and that is exactly what we wanted to show. But in order to show it, we will need an element of w as well. And do we have the guarantee that w contains at least one element? And the guarantee is there, because it is already given to us that w is non-empty. Now, since w is non-empty, it is going to contain at least one element, and we will take the help of that element to prove this, because according to the condition we need a element of w as well. Just remember this. Okay, so I will write here, as w is non-empty, therefore there exists w belonging to w. Okay, thus choosing alpha is equal to 0, we get alpha multiplied by w belongs to w, and that is nothing but what? Because alpha multiplied by w is what? Now we have taken alpha to be 0, so that is nothing but 0 belongs to w, and since w is closed under scalar multiplication, that property we have used as it is given to us. So, we have proved that w contains the identity, and definitely this property will be satisfied such that u plus 0 will be equal to u for all. Now, in this case u belonging to what? W. That is not an issue at all. Now, we will move towards existence of inverse property. So, what does the inverse property say? So, according to the property, for each u belonging to v, there should exist means we should be able to find minus u belonging to v such that u plus minus u should be equal to 0. But over here we are talking about w. So, actually what we have to do, for each u belonging to w, we have to find minus u belonging to w such that this u plus minus u should be equal to 0. So, let me start with an arbitrary element of w in order to do so. So, I will say let u belongs to w be arbitrary element. Now, we have to show that minus u is also there in w. U plus minus u will be equal to 0, that is not the issue at all, because this u is actually an element of v only. So, in v that property is already satisfied, right? Since w is a subset of v, this u lies in v here, and we already know that for a element of v, we already have some element minus u such that u plus minus u is equal to 0. So, we need not worry about this, just we have to show that whatever this minus u is existing now, that minus u is there in w. Okay, I hope you are getting, because v is already a vector space. So, thus the inverse of u is going to exist. So, our job is to only show that this inverse, that is nothing but minus u, lies in w only. So, can you guess how to prove it? Again we are going to take the help of the property of scalar multiplication. Now, what should be my value of alpha over here, so that I can prove minus u belongs to w? Now, we can take element of w to be u, right? So, if we already have element of w as u, so just now we have to choose a value of alpha for which we will get minus u belongs to w. And can you guess that value of alpha? Absolutely, that value is going to be minus 1. So, I will say here, so we choose alpha is equal to minus 1, thus you can say minus 1 comma u belongs to w implies minus u belongs to w. Reason is same, since w is closed under scalar multiplication, okay, such that this u plus minus u is equal to 0. So, as I told you before, this is going to be satisfied, no need of worrying about that. So we have proved that all that 8 properties are also satisfied, thus W is a subspace of V. Therefore W is a subspace of V.